This is your coach. This is your mentor, Crypto Cliff, here with some of the BBA coaches. How y'all doing today?
Doing good, doing good.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. So we have a very interesting topic to talk about today. This topic is pertains to the top CEOs. Let me be a little bit more specific. 2,000, over 2,000 of the top CEOs of the top corporations on the planet have resigned and sold their shares to their companies over the last 3 years. How do y'all feel about that? That's kind of strange, right? Over 2,000 CEOs have resigned and sold off all of their shares to the companies, the corporations, over the last 3 years. How do y'all feel about that statement?
Well, it definitely shows a shift in the economy and what's happening. So we got to pay attention and see how to
Absolutely.
set ourselves up. Um, so yeah, it's crazy. I would like to say that I'm seeing that even in the government,
Mm,
a lot of people are. It's a lot of change happening as far
yeah,
as leadership. A lot of shift.
and change is
Well,
not always good, right?
right.
No.
Not always
uh,
good. Sometimes
Hmm.
change can be crazy, right?
no,
Hmm.
the
George, what you
change
Yep.
think
is
about
crazy. Morale is down. Like
Absolutely.
nobody
that?
is taking like responsibility. People just filling positions and leaving and filling, and it's not good.
Not good at all. Sound like the government and the CEOs of the top corporations have a higher turnover than the inflation rate, right? It's
Hmm.
Yeah,
crazy.
good point.
A high turnover than Amazon right now.
Right.
It's crazy. All right, George, what you think about that? What do you think about the top 2,000 the top CEOs of the top corporations on the planet have resigned and have
Right.
actually start selling off their shares?
Well, the research that I did before showed that in the Fortune 500 companies, the average age of a CEO is about 57 years old. So that being the case, I know that this is a weird economy right now that we're in, but also those baby boomers are a lot of them wanting to retire. But it is a strange coincidence that they're doing it at this time with the economy changing in the way it is. We're going through such a big transformation, not just with the nationwide economy, but the global economy.
Mm,
America's losing its foothold as the superpower of the world. The dollar is not as strong as it used to be. So, with these CEOs jumping ship, they can say, I'm retiring, I want to live my life, but you're retiring at a very convenient time. So that raises red flags for me.
absolutely. I mean, just think about it. Like that's a great point too, as well. This is the baby boomer era where most of the baby boomers are getting ready to start retiring. All right. And not only that, it brings up a different point for me as well, too. Talking about like just benefits from the government in general. Because we were just talking, and Rhonda, you said you're starting to see this on the government side as well, too. Well, a lot of the
Hmm.
leaders on the government side are starting to actually retire right now as well, too. Right.
Yeah.
So it brings me to a different point to where I actually read up on something about Social Security, how within the next 10 to 15, maybe even 20 years, Social Security will be a thing of the past. You think this has a direct correlation to what's going on with all the CEOs and all the government officials retiring at the same time?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do y'all think about that?
I was just thinking too, you talking about them pulling their shares and things, that could affect us in a whole nother type of way when we just talk about baby boomers retiring overall, because this has been a topic, you know, for a long time, but now is the time that is actually going to happen. But you have to think about if everybody started pulling their money from um the economy, like saying pulling it out of these different companies, because now they're like, okay, I need to make sure it's going to be here and last me through the rest of my retirement, right? So how's
Hmm.
that going to affect us?
I think it'll affect us in a bunch of different ways. First things first, if money is not circulating, our economy gets more inflated, right? What dials down the economy or the inflation rate is ever flowing economy when people are actually spending money. most of the CEOs of these corporations, they're selling off their shares, but they're sitting on a stockpile of money. They're
Right.
sitting on it right now. They're not investing into anything else. They're just sitting on a stockpile of money. I was actually listening to one of Warren Buffett's interviews, and he was saying how he's selling off a lot of his shares, and he sold off over 500 million shares in 2024. Right? He's planning on selling off billions more shares this year of multiple different corporations he actually owns. So if they're selling off their shares and they're sitting on cash, to me as an investor, what it tells me is that they're waiting for a huge pullback. They're waiting for a huge drop. They're waiting for the economy to crash so that they can actually buy back at the bottom of the market. Remember, when there's blood in the streets, that's when we do what? We buy. So I think they're waiting for the blood in the streets to actually happen. And a lot of people don't know this, but we're actively in a recession right now. We've been in a recession since 2021. What if they're pulling all of their funds back, holding all of those dollar bills to wait towards a depression so they can actually buy back into the markets? How do y'all feel about that?
I think that is very well a possibility. Because in 2008, how many people were ready to retire and couldn't because of when the market dropped? And I think that's a smart move. People are trying to be a little bit more smarter, pull it in out now because they see the future of it dropping, because we've been in where the economy has been doing good, and it has to drop at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to retract back. It has to pull back.
It has to. Yeah,
absolutely. So with that being said, I think that's what's happening right now in the markets. Right now, we're at the highest inflation rate in U.S. history, right? The highest inflation rate. We had over 12.3% in inflation right now. In some places in the United States, they have over 50% inflation, all right? We're at the highest debt deficit in U.S. history, $38.7 trillion in debt. So with all of that being in play right now, and with all the top CEOs of these top corporations pulling their funds completely out of those corporations and sitting on them, just sitting on money, yeah, I say everyone should be preparing for the big crash. Everybody should be preparing for the big boom. Everybody should be in place for the next conversion of this system, but for the fall of this system. So what are some solutions that people can dive in to prepare themselves for this great, huge fall? What are some things we can do to prepare ourselves?
Stop spending so much, first of all. Stop being so much of a consumer and become more of an investor. Be smart with the money that you have. Even if you're not a millionaire, even if you're making it day to day, find places where you can take your money and cut your expenses and turn that money into an asset to where you can invest it in something that will build wealth, such as crypto and things of that sort, because a lot of the crypto is deflationary, not inflationary. And so that money that you put in there will help to cushion this fall that's coming, because your money will be more valuable, because the dollar is losing value every day. And in crypto, a lot of the crypto assets are gaining value exponentially. So you want to take that money that you have, invest it in something that's going to gain you money and reduce your expenses, reduce your the means by which you live. Stop buying those discretionary expenses and just be a little bit smarter with your money overall. That's what I say for the normal person. That's the one way that you can try to protect yourself.
Absolutely. Rhonda, what do you think? What do you think are some solutions that will actually help people out with this ever falling economy?
One of the number one things that I teach is making sure that you're living within your means. One of the things that I'm always teaching, pay yourself first. One of the rules that me and my husband, we live by, we always try to live by making sure that we can live off of one person's income, so that if anything were to happen, we would still be able to survive in a down economy. So just making sure you look, kind of piggybacking off of what George said, making sure that You're looking at what you're spending on and cutting off those things that you don't need, so that you have a very set budget, and then all the rest that you should be investing and saving and making sure that you have for your family, because a lot of people are not going to have, and making sure that you're able to take care of your family during that time period where things are going to be tight.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sebastian, what do you think? What's your take on this?
I agree. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect, bro.
Okay, so I agree what they said. It's more of just being mindful of spending. Challenges that I guess that I would have with investments is especially in dealing with stocks, is if we do go into a depression and things just start dropping, does that also include risk on assets? Do they lose their value as well? So in that, like, part of what I would do is I would kind of like follow the money, because these CEOs, I'm pretty sure that they actually have people who do the research, like who actually knows what's going on. So I probably would have some cash sitting on the side just in case risk on assets do drop. Then I have a little something on the side to jump back in at around the same time that they jump in. But with so many CEOs pulling out their money and just being in cash, I feel like they've been advised to do so by people in the know. So not full on pull everything and sit it to the side, but take heed to what they're doing and do that myself. Have a little bit on the side just in case.
Absolutely, absolutely. My ordeal is all my number one go to is always be completely deflationary, meaning invest into deflationary assets is actually going to help you accumulate value in this ever going or ever falling market. So, number one, always be a forward thinker. The number one thing is always be someone with a forward thinking mind. If you are a person who has a forward thinking mind, you will always be able to be on top and ahead of the game. Secondly, because just think about it. Your mindset is your number one investment.
Right.
The way you think, the way we feel, the way we move, we act, that's your number one investment. Right? If you have the right mindset in anything, you can accomplish just about everything. So mindset, first off, forward thinking mindset. Secondly, invest. I say have a stockpile of funds to save, but also have a stockpile of funds to invest. And not just invest into anything. Don't go after these dumb meme coins. Don't go after these dumb penny stocks. Invest into premium assets, premium defensive stocks, premium cryptocurrencies that are completely deflationary, like Bitcoin, like Cardano, like XRP, right? Defensive premium stocks like Coca-Cola, like Lockheed Martin, those type of stocks. Also, precious metals. I'm big on precious metals. I like to invest into things I like to call my transactional or my cross-border transactional currency list, meaning these are investments. These are assets that transcend borders. No matter where I am in the world, I can cash in these assets. That's one of the ways to defeat this depression that's coming and this inflationary market. All right. Also, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Learn how to make your own food and produce.
Okay.
People don't talk about that at all. That in itself is a life hack. Learning how to use aquaponic systems, learning how to grow your own food, not even just growing your own food, getting into a network or a community of people who grow their own food, who have their own chickens, and who have eggs, who have their own cattle. I have a friend of mine right now. If I wanted to go and buy a whole entire cow, all I gotta do is shoot him a message. $1,000. I have an entire cow, a grass-fed cow that he's gonna break down and process.
Nice.
That is a life hack that a lot of people don't know. What's going on right now with our food systems is freaking horrendous. It's terrible. Think about it. When's the last time you went to the grocery store and seen a full rack of something? Our grocery stores are being completely depleted of national and nutrient-based foods. So having access to stuff like that, learning how to fish, learning how to hunt, that's also a life hack for you. I know a lot of people are not into that type of lifestyle. Fortunately for me, I had a grandfather who taught me every last bit of it, right? But learning how to do things like that, that will also help you in this deflationary or inflationary market. So those are some solutions you can get into. That's my take. This is the BBA coach's take. Do we have anything before you want to talk about before we jump off, team? Any last comments?
No, I agree with you 100% on what you said. And now that you said it, being self-sustaining, being able to sustain your own ecosystem or your own environment around you, especially if you're a homeowner and you can just do what you need to do with around, renters, you kind of have a little bit of a issue with that. But if you're a homeowner and you can create your own farm or you can create your own garden, even something as simple as that, and get to the point where, if it's allowed, drill yourself a water well. I know a lot about drilling. That's what I do. So, drill yourself a water well if you can in the backyard. Tap into that water that's down there, and that way you can really, you don't have to necessarily get off the grid, but create an environment to where you can sustain yourself in the event of a crash, like you were saying. Do I need to leave my house to feed my family? If the answer is no, then you're in a good spot. But 99.9% of Americans have to leave the house to feed their family.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Yeah, we got to change that. And I know I'm guilty because I'm not in a position right now where I can just sustain myself in my environment. I still got to go buy stuff, but we're working towards it. And so that's very important to at least keep that on your mind. Be aware of the situation, be aware of the changes that are coming, and prepare yourself, like you said, as best as you can for this uncertain and unforeseen future that is definitely around the corner.
Yeah. A scary fact for me, especially talking about being self-sustained, when I learned that, and this is coming from a CIA agent, he said this, when I learned that if all the grids were to completely dissipate, if all our electricity, water systems, if everything went completely black, 90% of our population will die within the first 45 days.
Wow.
That's crazy.
We're that dependent.
When I learned that fact, I was like, yeah,
right. It put me in the motion. I'm glad my
grandparents taught me. Yeah, I'm glad my grandparents taught me how to farm. I'm glad they taught me how to fish. I'm glad they taught me how to hunt. I know how to go into the forest and forage. I know how to pick up different much. I'm glad I learned those skill sets. I'm like, you mean to tell me 90% of our population, I'm talking about worldwide, would completely die?
Wow.
Yeah.
It'd be anarchy.
It'd be anarchy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll be what's the name of that movie? The Purge.
Yeah. Exactly.
That is a crazy statistic.
Yeah. But it's and the worst part about being in your position is that you're prepared, but people are going to see that you're prepared and they're going to want what you got. So you got to prepare for that too.
Protect yourself. Yep.
You got to prepare for that too. So
listen, I've been shooting a 38-06 since I was 5. So trust me, they won't see you from a mile away.
I hear you. Right. But just to encourage people that are listening that may not have your background or may not be in your situation, just because you don't know how to do it, there are very many resources out here for you to learn online right now. So you can still prepare yourself, even if you don't know how to hunt or how to fish or how to farm or how to garden. All these skills, you can actually learn the basics of them online. So if you don't know how to do it, take the time out, Google search, look things up on YouTube or whatnot, and find people that actually know these skills so that you can prepare yourself. Don't just feel like, woe is me, it's too late, I can't do it, I'm just going to die. No, get yourself together, get yourself ready, take it one step at a time, and just build upon your skill set, one small increment at a time.
Absolutely. It doesn't take much. It's all a process. It's all just getting into it. I think the biggest problem with most people is just absolutely just standing up, changing that position.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like I had a pastor tell me one time, told me to sit down. He's like, listen, man, you're stuck in your situation. You're stuck in this movement right now. But I want you to do one thing for me. And I was like, I said, what's that? He said, I just want you to stand up. I stood up. He said, just that fast, you just change your position. You just change your mindset. You just change and alter your reality just by simply standing up. So I applaud everybody today You're sitting down in your situation. You're sitting down in this environment. You're sitting down in this economy. Just stand the hell up.
Right.
Stand
Right.
up. All right. Well, that's it for us at the BBA today. Listen, if you want to learn the financial skill set behind this, below this video is a link where we're giving away a 7-day subscription to the Blockchain Bureau Academy for absolutely free. That means for 7 days, you can go in and view the Blockchain Bureau the same way everyone else views the Blockchain Bureau. It'll be in the link below. Absolutely. And these are the BBA coaches. Y'all have anything else y'all want to talk about or say before we jump off today?
No,
I
that's
want to
it.
say,
Talk.
What'd you say?
I was saying it was just a great talk. I love this
absolutely.
topic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and another thing I just want to say real quick before we get off, just stay encouraged. Realize that, the things that you don't know, but that you can still learn them. And so when you join the BBA, we'll be here to help give you our perspective on what we know about. And we will help to coach you to get you to understand the small aspects of crypto or investing or things like that you may not necessarily know or you may not be clear on. And we all bounce ideas off each other. We work as a team. We're like a big family. So come on in. Join the family, and we'll do our best to lift you up and get you to where you can be so that you'll be ready for what's coming next.
Absolutely. Most definitely. On that note, listen, we out, people. If you want to hit us up, get us up in the BBA. Also, go ahead and give us your social media platforms, team, so we can go ahead and know exactly what to contact you guys and what to hit you up at before we jump off.
All right. Well, you can find me on TikTok under GTrade. And I'm going to be establishing that handle for my other ones. I haven't done it yet. I'm a little bit behind on the Instagram part, but I'm going to get Instagram is going to be GTrade also. So just type in GTrade, capital G, capital T, trade, and you can find me there.
All right. I'm Rhonda. You can find me on Facebook, Rhonda Patterson, and Saving Like a Boss. I have a group on Facebook. I also am Saving Like a Boss on Instagram and on TikTok.
That's what's up. You know me, mentor, coach, Crypto Cliff. You can find me on IG as Mr. I Am Money, TikTok, Crypto Cliff LLC, Facebook, Clifton O'Neal. Let's get it, team. We out. Oh, Sebastian, you want to go and add yours in?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, bro.
Okay, yeah, I'm Sebastian Washington. You can find me on Facebook under Sebastian Washington. I have a group called Let's Talk Crypto, where we just talk about general news about crypto. Do not have any other social media platforms at the moment, but I am working on that.
All right, that's what's up. All right, team, we're out. We will see y'all later and have a blessed one. Peace.